A lunch tray crashed. Food went flying everywhere. Theo Holt fell backward, his leg brace shining under the bright lights. His walking stick flew out of his hands and hit the floor hard. "Oops," Marcus said with a mean smile. "Did the rich boy fall down?" The lunchroom went crazy. Kids pulled out their phones, red lights flashing. Everyone wanted to record this. Another boy pushed Theo hard. Chocolate milk poured all over his white shirt. "Your daddy's money can't fix your broken legs." The kid started chanting. "Fall down, get up, fall down, get up." Some kids laughed. Others just filmed. Most just watched, too scared to do anything. At table 12, Jada Brooks put down her sandwich. Slow. Calm. Her dad's words rang in her head, "When you see something wrong, you make it right." The bullies didn't see her stand up yet. Not yet. But when she moved, when her sneakers hit that cold floor, nothing in that lunchroom would ever be the same again. This is Top Story, where brave people do amazing things. If you think kids should help each other instead of hurt each other, hit that like button right now because sometimes the quiet kid saves the day. Also, hit subscribe because we share stories like this every single week. Welcome back to the Top Story family. Before we jump into today's amazing story, I want to thank all of you who subscribe. Your likes, your comments, your shares, they all mean so much to me. You're not just watching, you're part of something special. Let me say a quick prayer for all of you. I pray that today brings you something good to smile about. I pray your kindness comes back to you. I pray you feel strong when things get tough. I pray you find peace in quiet moments and courage when you need it most. Amen. Now, let's get into this story that will blow your mind. It was 12:15 p.m. on a Tuesday when everything changed. The Roosevelt High lunchroom was packed. Kids everywhere, talking loud, laughing, being normal teenagers. But in the back corner, something terrible was about to happen. Theo Holt sat alone at table 15. His lunch tray had a turkey sandwich, apple slices, and chocolate milk. Simple stuff. He ate slow, careful not to make noise. At 15 years old, Theo had learned that being quiet meant being safe. His leg brace caught the light when he moved. 3 surgeries hadn't fixed what the car crash took from him 2 years ago. The doctors said he was lucky to walk at all. But kids at school didn't care about lucky. They only saw different. "Look what we got here," Marcus Williams said, walking up with his crew. 3 boys, all bigger than Theo. All looking for trouble. Marcus was the type of kid who smiled when he hurt people. His dad owned half the town, so teachers looked the other way. Money talked, and Marcus knew it. Eating alone again, rich boy. Marcus grabbed Theo's milk carton. "Don't you have any friends?" Theo's hand started shaking. He tried to stay calm like his dad taught him. "Just leave me alone, Marcus. Please. Please." Marcus laughed loud. "Did you hear that, guys?" He said please. The other boys laughed too. Kids at nearby tables started looking over. Some pulled out phones. This was about to be good content for social media. "Stand up," Marcus said, his voice getting mean. "I want to see you stand up." "I don't want any trouble," Theo whispered. His voice was so quiet you could barely hear it. "I said stand up." Marcus grabbed Theo's arm and yanked hard. Theo tried to get up, but his leg brace caught on the bench. He fell forward, his hands hitting the table. His lunch tray flipped over, sending food flying everywhere. Kids started laughing and pointing. "Oh no, the cripple fell down," one boy yelled. Marcus picked up Theo's walking stick from the floor. He held it high like a prize. "Maybe you need this, huh?" That's when the phones really came out. Red recording lights everywhere. This was going viral for sure. Poor kid with the leg brace, getting picked on by the rich bullies. Perfect content. Give it back, Theo said, trying to sound brave. But his voice cracked. Give it back. Marcus swung the walking stick around. Make me. Theo reached for it, but lost his balance. He fell hard on his side, right in the spilled food. Chocolate milk soaked through his shirt. Pieces of turkey and bread stuck to his face. The lunchroom was going crazy now. Kids standing on chairs to see better. Everyone filming. The chant started low but got louder, fight, fight, fight. But Theo couldn't fight. He could barely get up. This is so sad, Marcus said, but he was smiling. Daddy's billions can't buy you real legs. That's when she stood up. Jada Brooks had been watching from across the room. She sat at table 12 with the kids nobody paid attention to. The quiet kids. The ones who ate lunch and minded their own business. But Jada wasn't quiet because she was scared. She was quiet because her father had taught her something most kids never learned: when to move and when to wait. When to talk and when to fight. At 14, Jada had been training in her father's garage gym since she was 8 years old. Heavy bag work. Speed drills. Footwork. Real boxing, not the fake stuff you see in movies. Her father, Marcus Brooks, had been a professional boxer before he got married. Not famous, but good. Good enough to know that fighting wasn't about anger. It was about control. About knowing when words weren't enough anymore. As she watched Theo on that dirty floor, trying to get up while kids laughed and filmed, she felt something her father had warned her about: righteous anger. The kind that made your hands shake and your vision narrow. When you feel that fire, baby girl, her dad had told her, that's when you know it's time to move. Jada stood up slow. Her chair didn't make a sound. She was calm on the outside, but inside, every muscle in her body was ready. 6 years of training had taught her to breathe through the anger, to focus it like a laser beam. She started walking toward the chaos. Her sneakers made soft sounds on the tile floor. Kids were still laughing, still filming, still chanting, fight, fight, fight. They had no idea what was coming. Marcus was still holding the walking stick, waving it around like a toy. Maybe we should break this thing, he said. Then Daddy will have to buy you a new one. Theo was on his hands and knees now, trying to crawl away. Food stuck to his clothes. Tears running down his face. The most embarrassing moment of his life, and it was all being filmed. That's when a calm voice cut through all the noise. Put it down. Everyone turned. Jada stood 5 feet away from Marcus, hands at her sides. But Marcus, who'd been in enough fights to recognize danger, noticed something the other kids missed. Her feet were positioned perfectly. Her weight balanced. Her hands loose but ready. This wasn't some random girl trying to play hero. This was someone who knew how to handle herself. What did you say to me? Marcus couldn't believe some girl was challenging him, but something in her eyes made him nervous. I said put it down. Jada's voice was steady. Give him back his walking stick and walk away. Marcus laughed, but it sounded forced. Or what? You gonna stop me? If I have to. The way she said it made the whole cafeteria go quiet. No threats. No big talk. Just a simple statement of fact. Marcus looked around at all the phones recording. He couldn't back down now. Not in front of everyone. Not to some girl. You think you're tough? He dropped the walking stick and stepped toward Jada. Let me show you what happens when you mess with the wrong person. Marcus threw a right hook, the same punch that had dropped 3 kids this year. But Jada wasn't there anymore. She slipped to the side, just like her father had taught her. Marcus's fist cut through empty air, throwing him off balance. Before he could recover, Jada's left hand snapped out in a perfect jab, catching him right on the nose. Blood exploded everywhere. Marcus stumbled backward, his hands flying to his face. "You broke my nose. You broke my freaking nose." But Jada wasn't done. His two friends rushed at her from both sides, thinking they could overwhelm her with numbers. They learned different real quick. Jada ducked under the first boy's swing and drove an uppercut into his stomach. He doubled over, gasping for air. The second boy grabbed for her, but she twisted out of his grip and landed a clean right cross to his jaw that dropped him like a bag of rocks. The whole thing took maybe 10 seconds. 3 bullies on the ground. One girl standing over them, not even breathing hard. The cafeteria was dead silent except for Marcus whimpering about his nose. Jada walked over to where Theo was still on the ground and picked up his walking stick. She handed it to him and helped him to his feet. "You okay?" she asked softly. Theo stared at her like she was some kind of superhero. Yeah. Thank you." "Don't thank me. Thank my father. He taught me that strong people protect weak people. That's what strength is for." She looked around at all the phones still recording, then at Marcus and his crew on the floor. "And for the record," she said loud enough for everyone to hear, "picking on someone who can't defend themselves isn't strength. It's cowardice." She helped Theo gather his things and walked with him toward the exit. Every step was recorded. Every moment was going to be online in minutes. But Jada didn't care about that. She'd done what her father taught her. She'd protected someone who needed protection. The whole fight lasted 37 seconds. From the moment Marcus threw the first punch to the moment all 3 bullies were on the ground. 37 seconds that would change 3 lives forever. Because 12 miles away in a glass tower downtown, a billionaire was about to watch a video that would show him his son getting saved by a girl who wasn't afraid to throw hands when words weren't enough. And Marcus Williams Sr. was about to learn that money couldn't fix everything, especially not a son who'd just gotten knocked out by a 14-year-old girl in front of the whole school. What do you think happens when that video goes viral and shows Jada absolutely destroying those bullies? Drop a comment below and smash that subscribe button because this story is about to get crazy. Graham Holt couldn't sleep. Again. It was 12:03 a.m. and he stood in his penthouse office, 40 floors above the city. Glass walls showed the lights below, but Graham wasn't looking at the view. He was staring at his laptop screen, scrolling through emails he didn't care about. Being a billionaire was lonelier than people thought. Sure, he had money. More money than most countries. But money couldn't buy back time with his son. Money couldn't fix the guilt that ate at him every night. He worked 16-hour days building his empire while Theo grew up with nannies and tutors. When the car accident happened 2 years ago, Graham realized he'd been living in the wrong building. He'd built a business fortress but forgotten to build a relationship with his only child. His phone buzzed. A text from his assistant, "Sir, you need to see this. It's about Theo. The video is going crazy online." Graham's heart stopped. Was Theo hurt? Sick? In trouble? A link appeared. YouTube video. The title made his blood run cold. Girl boxer destroys 3 bullies who attacked disabled kid, instant karma. Graham's hands shook as he clicked play. The video was shaky, filmed by some kid's phone. But he could see everything clearly. Too clearly. His son. His 15-year-old son Theo, sitting alone at a lunch table. 3 boys walking up to him like predators. The biggest one grabbing Theo's milk carton like he owned it. "Just leave me alone, Marcus. Please." That voice. That scared, quiet voice was his son begging to be left alone. Graham watched his son get pulled up from the table. Watched him fall. Watched food fly everywhere while kids laughed and pointed phones at him like he was some kind of show. Oh no, the cripple fell down. Graham's hands turned into fists. How dare they? How dare they talk about his son like that? But it got worse. He watched Marcus hold up Theo's walking stick like a trophy. Watched his son crawl on the floor, covered in food, trying to get away while dozens of kids filmed his pain. Daddy's billions can't buy you real legs. That line hit Graham like a punch to the chest. But then everything changed. A girl stood up from across the room. Young, maybe 14, but she moved like a fighter. Graham had seen enough boxing matches to recognize real training when he saw it. She walked across the cafeteria like she owned it. Calm. Focused. Deadly. Put it down. Her voice was steady. Strong. Everything Theo's wasn't in that moment. Graham leaned closer to the screen. Who was this girl? Why was she helping when everyone else just watched? Then Marcus Williams made the biggest mistake of his life. He threw a punch at her. What happened next made Graham's jaw drop. The girl moved like lightning. She slipped Marcus's punch like she'd seen it coming from miles away, then snapped out a jab that exploded his nose in a spray of blood. Holy! Graham whispered. But she wasn't done. When Marcus's two friends tried to jump her, she handled them like a professional. Duck, uppercut to the gut, first boy down and puking. Twist, dodge, right cross to the jaw, second boy unconscious before he hit the floor. 3 bullies destroyed in less than 10 seconds by a 14-year-old girl who fought like she'd been born in a boxing ring. Graham played that part 5 times. The girl's footwork was perfect. Her punches were textbook. Her composure under pressure was better than fighters he'd paid millions to watch. But what really got to him was what happened after the fight. She didn't celebrate. Didn't take pictures with the beaten bullies. Didn't show off for the cameras. She walked straight to Theo, helped him up, and made sure he was okay. You okay? She asked, her voice gentle now. Yeah. Thank you. Don't thank me. Thank my father. He taught me that strong people protect weak people. That's what strength is for. Graham felt tears he didn't know were coming. This teenage girl had just given him a master class in what real strength looked like. The video had been viewed 500,000 times already. The comments were insane. Whoa, she dropped all 3 of them. That girl can fight. Marcus Williams just got schooled by a freshman. Give this girl a medal. Best knockout video of the year. But there were other comments too. Violence is never the answer. She should have gotten a teacher. Fighting at school equals automatic suspension. Graham didn't care about the critics. He cared about one thing: this girl had protected his son when he couldn't. She'd stood up to 3 bullies and won. She'd shown Theo what courage looked like. He grabbed his phone and called his assistant. It was past midnight, but money meant people answered when you called. Sarah, I need you to find someone for me. At this hour, Mr. Holt. The girl in the video. The one who saved Theo. I need to know everything about her. Name, address, family, boxing background, everything. Sir, it's almost 12:30 a.m. I'll pay triple overtime. Find her tonight. Graham hung up and watched the video again. And again. Each time, he was more amazed by this girl's skill and more ashamed of the parent he'd been. By 1:15 a.m., Sarah had called back. Her name is Jada Brooks. 14 years old, freshman at Roosevelt High. Lives on Maple Street with her parents. Father is Marcus Brooks. He was a professional boxer, went 15-3 as a middleweight before he retired. Now he works at the shipping docks and runs a small gym at night. A boxer's daughter, Graham said. That explains the skills. Mother works cleaning services. No criminal record for any of them, good grades, no disciplinary issues. The girl volunteers at her father's gym 3 afternoons a week, teaching kids. Teaching kids to fight. Teaching kids self-defense and discipline, according to my source. The gym has a good reputation in the community. They help kids stay out of trouble. Graham wrote it all down. A boxer's daughter who'd learned to fight from a professional. Who used those skills to protect people instead of hurt them. I want to meet her. Sir. Set up a meeting. But not at my office. Somewhere neutral. And Sarah? Yes, Mr. Holt. Find out everything you can about Marcus Williams and his family. If they try to cause problems for this girl because of what she did to their son, I want to be ready. What kind of problems? Rich families don't like being embarrassed by poor families. Especially not in front of 500,000 people online. Graham closed his laptop and walked to the window. 40 floors down, the city slept. Somewhere out there was a girl who'd shown more courage in 37 seconds than he'd shown in 15 years of being a father. But there was also a family who just watched their son get knocked out by a girl on video. People like that usually wanted revenge. He picked up his phone and typed a text to Theo, "We need to talk. About school. About everything. I love you." At 1:47 a.m., Theo texted back, "Love you too, Dad. Did you see the video?" "I saw it. Are you okay?" "I'm better than okay. Someone finally stood up for me. We'll talk tomorrow. Get some sleep." "Dad?" "Yeah. Her name is Jada. She's amazing." Graham smiled. His son was right. She was amazing. But as he finally headed to bed, Graham couldn't shake the feeling that the real drama was just beginning. The Williams family had money and power and connections. They weren't going to let this slide. Which meant Jada Brooks was about to find out that beating bullies in the cafeteria was nothing compared to what their parents could do when they got embarrassed. The video was still trending when he went to sleep. #JadaKnockout was the #1 hashtag on Twitter. The girl who'd saved his son was about to become famous. The question was, would that fame protect her or destroy her? What do you think the Williams family is going to do when they see their son getting knocked out by a girl? And how will Jada handle suddenly being famous for fighting? Drop your predictions in the comments and smash that subscribe button because this story is about to explode. Theo's bedroom looked like a hospital mixed with a trophy room, but tonight it felt like a victory celebration. Physical therapy charts covered one wall, showing his progress over 2 years. Walk 10 steps without crutch, done. Climb 5 stairs, done. Stand for 2 minutes, done. Each small victory marked with a big red check mark. But tonight, none of those victories mattered compared to what had happened in the cafeteria. He sat on his bed, laptop open, watching the video that had changed his life. The same video that was breaking the internet right now. Girl boxer destroys 3 bullies who attacked disabled kid. 2.3 million views and climbing. The comments kept flooding in. That girl's hands are lethal. Marcus Williams got what he deserved. Best knockout compilation ever. Someone give this girl a boxing contract. But the comments that mattered most were different. Finally someone stood up for the disabled kid. This is what real friendship looks like. Heroes come in all sizes. Theo replayed the part where Jada destroyed Marcus Williams for the 20th time. The way she slipped that punch like she'd seen it coming from next week. The way Marcus's nose exploded in a spray of blood. The way he hit the ground crying like a baby. It was the most beautiful thing Theo had ever seen. His phone buzzed. Text from his dad, "We need to talk. About school. About everything. I love you." For once, Theo wasn't dreading a conversation with his father. For once, he had something good to share. He texted back, "Love you too, Dad. Did you see the video?" "I saw it. Are you okay?" "I'm better than okay. Someone finally stood up for me. We'll talk tomorrow. Get some sleep. Dad." Yeah. Her name is Jada. She's amazing. Theo put his phone down and looked at the video again. But this time, he focused on a different part. Not the fight, but what happened after. The way Jada helped him up. The gentleness in her voice when she asked if he was okay. The way she made sure he got his walking stick back before they left together. She'd beaten 3 bullies unconscious, but the moment the violence was over, she became soft again. Protective. Kind. A soft knock on his door interrupted his thoughts. Theo. Can I come in? His dad's voice. Theo minimized the video window. Yeah, come in. Graham opened the door slowly. He looked different tonight. Less like a businessman, more like a worried father. In his hand was a cup of hot chocolate, the kind they used to make together when Theo was little. Thought you might want this, Graham said, sitting on the edge of the bed. Thanks. Theo took the cup, feeling the warmth through his hands. Dad, about what happened today. You don't have to explain anything to me. But I should have fought back myself, right? I should have stood up for myself. Graham was quiet for a long moment. What do you think would have happened if you fought back? Theo thought about it. I would have gotten destroyed. Marcus is bigger, stronger, and he's not wearing a leg brace. And then? The video would have been worse. Instead of Jada saving me, it would have been me getting beaten up on camera. Graham nodded. So you made the smart choice. You waited for the right moment, and the right person showed up. But I felt so helpless, Dad. Lying there in the food while everyone laughed. You know what I learned today, son? What? That sometimes the bravest thing you can do is accept help when it's offered. That girl didn't have to get involved. She could have just watched like everyone else. But she saw you needed help, and she helped. Theo looked up at his father. She really messed them up, didn't she? Graham couldn't help but smile. Son, I've watched a lot of boxing matches in my life. What that girl did to those 3 boys was professional level. Marcus Williams got hit so hard his kids are gonna feel it. They both laughed at that. What happens now? Theo asked. Now everything changes. That video has millions of views. People all over the world know what happened to you today. Some of them are probably calling the school right now. Is that good or bad? Probably both. But here's what I know for sure. Nobody at that school is ever going to mess with you again. Jada Brooks made sure of that. Theo felt something he hadn't felt in 2 years, safe. Actually safe at school for the first time since the accident. Dad, can I ask you something? Anything. Why didn't you ever teach me to fight? You could have hired trainers, got me lessons, whatever. Graham sighed. Because I was scared. Scared that if you got hurt worse, it would be my fault. Scared that fighting would make you more of a target. But look what happened instead. I became a target anyway, and I couldn't defend myself. You're right. I failed you, son. I thought money could protect you from everything, but it can't protect you from cruelty. Theo was quiet for a moment. It's not too late, you know. What do you mean? To learn. Jada's dad trains people. Maybe I could. Graham's eyes lit up. You want to learn to box? I want to learn to be strong. Like her. Not so I can hurt people, but so people think twice before they try to hurt me. Then we'll make it happen. Tomorrow, we're going to meet the Brooks family. We're going to thank them properly. And we're going to ask if Mr. Brooks will train you. Theo grinned. Really? Really? It's time I stopped trying to solve your problems with money and started helping you solve them yourself. After his dad left, Theo opened the video again. But this time, he started working on something new. He opened his video editing software and began cutting together all the footage from the cafeteria incident. He had access to multiple angles from different phones. He could see things in the footage that most people missed. Like how Marcus Williams deliberately chose a table where he knew people would be filming. Like how his friends positioned themselves to block the teacher's view. Like how the whole thing was planned to maximum humiliation. But he could also see Jada. Really see her. The way she assessed the situation before she moved. The way she tried words first. The way she only used violence when violence was used against her. Most importantly, he could see the exact moment she decided to get involved. It wasn't when Marcus grabbed his milk. It wasn't when they knocked him down. It was when Marcus said, "Daddy's billions can't buy you real legs." That's when Jada's face changed. That's when she stood up. That's when she decided that enough was enough. Theo spent 2 hours editing a new version of the video. Not just the fight, but the whole story. The systematic bullying. The crowd's bloodthirsty excitement. The adults who were nowhere to be found when students needed them most. And then, salvation in the form of a 14-year-old girl who fought like a professional boxer. He titled it, "The Real Story, How One Girl's Courage Changed Everything." But before he posted it, he wanted to show it to Jada first. She deserved to see how her 37 seconds of violence had looked from every angle. She deserved to know that her courage had been captured perfectly. His phone buzzed with another text. This one from a number he didn't recognize. "This is Jada Brooks. My dad got your number from the school directory. I wanted to make sure you were okay after today." Theo's heart jumped. The girl who'd saved his life was checking on him. He typed back, "I'm more than okay. I'm free. Thank you for what you did. You don't need to thank me. Nobody should have to deal with what you were dealing with. Can I ask you something?" "Sure. How did you learn to fight like that?" "That was incredible. My dad's been training me since I was 8. He always said I'd know when I needed to use it. Today was that day. Well, I'm glad you were there. And I'm glad you know how to throw hands like that." "Me too. See you at school tomorrow." "See you tomorrow." "And Jada?" "Yeah. Thank you for showing me what real strength looks like." Theo put his phone away and looked at the video he'd created one more time. Tomorrow, he would show it to Jada. Tomorrow, he would thank her properly. But tonight, he was going to sleep better than he had in 2 years. Because for the first time since his accident, he wasn't the victim of the story. He was the person who got saved by a hero. And tomorrow, he was going to start learning how to be his own hero. What do you think will happen when Theo shows Jada his edited video? And how will the school react to having a student who can knock out 3 bullies? Drop your thoughts in the comments and smash that subscribe button because this story is getting intense. Marcus Williams Sr. was having the worst night of his life. At 11:47 p.m., he sat in his mansion's home office, a crystal glass of whiskey in one hand and his phone in the other, watching his son get demolished by a teenage girl for the 15th time. The video had 4.2 million views now. 4.2 million. His son, his heir, his legacy, his pride and joy, getting his nose broken by some girl from the wrong side of town. Getting knocked unconscious by a child whose father probably made in a year what Marcus Sr. made in a week. "This is a f***ing disaster," he snarled, draining his whiskey. The comments section was pure torture. "Your son got wrecked by a little girl LMO. Imagine getting beat up by a freshman. Rich boy learned today. That's what bullies deserve." She ended his whole career. But the worst part wasn't just the humiliation. The worst part was that his business associates had seen it. His country club friends had seen it. His competitors had seen it. The Williams name, built over 3 generations, was being dragged through the mud by a 14-year-old girl with fast hands. His phone rang. Richard Steinberg, his business partner and fellow Roosevelt High donor. Marcus, have you seen the evening news? What about it? Channel 7, Channel 4, and Fox News all ran segments on the video. They're calling it, The Great Equalizer and, When Bullies Meet Justice. Your son's face is on every major network. Marcus Sr. felt his blood pressure spike. They're showing his face. He's a minor. They pixelated it, but everyone knows who it is. The Williams Construction logo is on his backpack, Marcus. People are connecting the dots. Those bastards. It gets worse. That disabled kid's father. Graham Holt. He's worth about 20 times what you are, and he's going on every talk show that'll have him. He's calling Marcus Jr. a predator, and a systematic abuser, who terrorized kids for years. Marcus Sr. grabbed another bottle of whiskey. This was spiraling out of control fast. And the girl who beat up your son? Jada Brooks? Her father's been giving interviews all day. Former professional boxer, 15-3 record. Says his daughter was defending innocent kids from spoiled rich bullies who think daddy's money makes them untouchable. A professional boxer? Marcus Sr. hadn't known that detail. Gets better. Turns out half the neighborhood kids train at his gym for free. They're calling him a community hero. This whole family is coming out looking like saints while your son looks like a monster. Marcus Sr. threw his phone across the room. It shattered against his $50,000 painting. Those people had just declared war on the wrong family. He walked to his wall safe and pulled out a black leather address book. The kind of book that contained numbers most people would never want to use. First call, Detective Ray Morrison, who owed Marcus Sr. about 6 figures in gambling debts. Ray, it's Marcus Williams. Wake up. Jesus, Marcus, it's almost midnight. My son was brutally assaulted at school today. I want the girl who did it arrested. Tonight. Marcus, I saw the video. Your boy threw the first punch. That's not what happened, and that's not what you're going to put in your report. Unless you want me to call in those markers you owe me. A long pause. Detective Morrison owed Williams Construction $180,000 from some very bad poker games. Money he'd never be able to pay back on a cop's salary. What exactly do you want me to do? I want assault charges filed against Jada Brooks. Aggravated assault with deadly weapons. Her fists aren't deadly weapons, Marcus. They are when they're trained by a professional boxer. She brought trained weapons to school and used them to hospitalize 3 minors. That's felony assault. She's 14 years old. She's 14 years old and she fights like Mike Tyson. Age doesn't matter when you're dealing with a trained killer. Another pause. Wednesday morning at Roosevelt High felt like walking into a hurricane. News vans lined the street outside. Reporters with microphones crowded the sidewalks. Police cars sat in the parking lot with their lights flashing. Jada walked toward the front entrance with her head high, but inside her stomach was doing backflips. Every phone in sight was pointed at her. Every conversation stopped when she walked by. There she is. That's the boxer girl. Jada. Jada. Can we get a statement? She ignored them all and pushed through the front doors into chaos. Kids were clustered around phones, watching the video over and over. Some cheered when they saw her. Others whispered and backed away like she was dangerous. But the weirdest part was the adults. Teachers who used to barely notice her now stared like she was some kind of exotic animal. Security guards followed her movements. Even the janitor stopped mopping to watch her walk by. Jada Brooks to the main office. Jada Brooks to the main office immediately. The announcement echoed through the hallway like a death sentence. Kids stopped talking and looked at her with pity. Going to the office the day after you knocked out 3 students was never good news. She walked down the long corridor, her sneakers squeaking on the polished floor. Through the windows, she could see more news vans arriving. This was getting bigger by the hour. Mrs. Martinez looked up when she entered the main office. Her usual smile was replaced by worry. "Oh honey," she said quietly. "Sit down. Principal Johnson will be right with you." But it wasn't just Principal Johnson waiting for her. When the office door opened, Jada saw a small crowd: Principal Johnson, Dr. Chen the superintendent, 2 police officers, and a woman in an expensive suit who looked like bad news. "Miss Brooks, please come in and have a seat." Jada sat in the chair facing the big desk, feeling like she was about to be executed. The woman in the suit was writing notes on a legal pad. The cops looked bored but alert. "Jada," Principal Johnson began, her voice careful and formal, "we need to discuss yesterday's incident in the cafeteria." "Okay. First, I want you to know that we've reviewed all available footage of the event. Security cameras, student phones, everything." Jada nodded. She wasn't worried about the footage. It clearly showed Marcus Williams attacking first. The footage confirms that Mr. Williams initiated physical contact by throwing the first punch. Relief flooded through Jada's body. They'd seen the truth. However, Dr. Chen interrupted, "We have concerns about your response." The relief evaporated. "Your response?" The woman in the suit leaned forward. "Miss Brooks, I'm District Attorney Sarah Mitchell. Are you familiar with the concept of proportional response?" "Not really. It means when someone attacks you, your response should match the level of threat. Mr. Williams threw one punch. You responded by breaking his nose, giving his friend a concussion, and putting the third boy in the hospital with internal bleeding." Jada felt her temper flare. "They were 3 against 1. They were bigger than me. I did what I had to do to protect myself. But did you really need to hurt them that badly?" One of the police officers, a heavy-set man with tired eyes, spoke up. "Miss Brooks, we've received a complaint from the Williams family. They're claiming you used excessive force." "Excessive force? They attacked me. We understand that," Principal Johnson said quickly. "But the district is in a difficult position. The Williams family is threatening to pull their funding if we don't take action." "What kind of action?" Dr. Chen pulled out a sheet of paper. "We're recommending a 3-day suspension while we conduct a full investigation into the incident." "You're suspending me? For defending myself?" "It's just temporary." Principal Johnson started. "This is bull." Jada stood up, her chair scraping across the floor. "Marcus Williams has been terrorizing kids at this school for years, and nobody did anything about it. The one time someone fights back, you want to suspend them?" D.A. Mitchell made more notes. "Miss Brooks, we understand you're upset, but outbursts like this don't help your case." "My case? What case? I'm not the one who started that fight." The second police officer, younger and more sympathetic looking, leaned forward. "Jada, nobody's saying you're the bad guy here. But when you have professional boxing training and you use it to hurt people, that changes things legally." "Legally?" D.A. Mitchell nodded. "Your hands are considered weapons under state law. Using trained fighting skills against untrained opponents could be classified as assault with a deadly weapon." Jada felt the room spinning. "Are you arresting me?" "Not today," the first officer said. "But the Williams family is pushing hard for charges. We're here to advise you that you should probably get a lawyer." "A lawyer? I'm 14. Age doesn't matter when the injuries are this severe," D.A. Mitchell said coldly. "Marcus Williams Jr. required surgery to repair his nasal cavity. His friend has a grade 2 concussion. The third boy is still in the hospital." Principal Johnson looked sick. "Jada, I want you to know that personally, I think what you did was brave. But legally and administratively, my hands are tied." "So what happens now?" "Now you're suspended pending investigation. Your parents have been contacted. You need to leave school property immediately." "And then?" D.A. Mitchell closed her notepad. Then we decide whether a 14-year-old girl gets charged as an adult for aggravated assault. The words hit Jada like a physical blow. Charged as an adult. Prison time. Criminal record. Her whole future destroyed because she'd stood up for someone who couldn't protect himself. This is insane, she whispered. This is the law, D.A. Mitchell replied. As Jada was escorted out of the building, past the reporters and cameras and chaos, she felt something she'd never experienced before, real fear. Not the fear of getting hurt in a fight. The fear of having her life destroyed by people with more money and power than she'd ever dreamed of having. Outside, her father was waiting by his truck, his face a mask of barely controlled rage. "Come on, baby girl," he said, opening the passenger door. "We're going home." As they drove away from the school, past the news vans and the crowds of curious onlookers, Marcus Brooks finally spoke. "They came after my daughter," he said quietly. "Rich folks with fancy lawyers and police connections came after my little girl for protecting someone. Dad, what are we going to do?" Marcus's hands tightened on the steering wheel. "We're going to fight back, baby. We're going to fight back with everything we got. But they have money. They have lawyers. They have connections. And we have something they don't have, Jada." "What's that?" Marcus looked at his daughter, his eyes blazing with determination. "We have the truth. We have the community. And we have each other. Is that enough? We're about to find out. What do you think Marcus Brooks is planning to do to fight back against the Williams family's legal attacks? And will the community really stand behind Jada when things get this serious? Drop your thoughts in the comments and smash that subscribe button because this war is just getting started. The Brooks house had never seen so much activity. By 2 p.m., the small living room was packed with people who'd heard about Jada's legal troubles and decided to do something about it. Marcus Brooks sat at his kitchen table, but he wasn't the defeated man the Williams family expected to find. Surrounding him were 15 of the toughest, most loyal people in the neighborhood, dock workers, gym fighters, construction crews, and small business owners who'd known the Brooks family for years. "Let me get this straight," said Tommy Rodriguez, a crane operator who trained at Marcus's gym. "Rich boy starts a fight with a disabled kid, Jada stops it, and now they want to put her in prison." "That's exactly right," Sharon Brooks said, her voice shaking with anger. "They're trying to charge my baby as an adult. For defending herself.